Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday, the 30th of April. So, just been triggered into a short position on the FTSE 100. So, after this, rejection candle at 8:05 a.m. So, as always with the live trade, we'll talk through the analysis, we'll talk through the trade management, and we'll have a look at the result. And I'll try and basically explain to you why I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing each step of the way through the trade. Now, it may be a pretty fast trade and a break-even trade because the sell position is going into MA200, so the moving average, 200 simple moving average. Now that it's tested at that level, if we start to find support, then potentially it's where the market is going to bounce and continue on a bullish movement. So basically what I'm doing is I'm watching to see if we break back up to my entry point. If we break back up to my entry, I will likely just come out of the trade. So it might be a pretty fast trade. We'll see how we get on. With this one, coming into the FTSE today, into this zone especially, I was a little bit more neutral. The market is testing up against fairly significant resistance levels. However, for me, the stronger ones start up here. So with this one, I'm just looking for fairly clean price action, good reasons to get into the trade. Now, market pressed up after the ATM open, very strong move up. We broke up above all of these swings here, so it's giving me a fairly clean, if we just mark it in, level to watch for potential bounces, and also the MA200. So what I mean by areas to watch for potential bounces, basically areas where I can get evidence that the trade is potentially not working out the way I was wanting it to work out. So if we found support there and we started to bounce, I would just come out of the trade for break even or a very small loss. But what I'm hoping for is the market is going to break back down towards this whole level of price action down here, like this. If we do start to break down into these levels, I will consider taking profits and calling it a day. Actually, I should point out, I don't really know how much you guys can see on the video, but I've had painters in the house basically doing all the woodwork. So all the stuff in the office is kind of squashed into the middle and it's a bit of a mess. So if you can see that, I do apologize. I feel like one of those, the Instagram traders, where everything is sort of perfect around the frame of the picture that they take, but then to the outside of that frame, everything's an absolute mess. So inside the frame, I've got my rented Ferrari, my rented Lamborghini, and then outside of the frame, my life is a mess. Okay, so with this one, there's not really too much else to go over. It's a fairly clean setup. We broke up, we got instant rejection. I had nice clean areas to watch for the bulls stepping back in. We have broken through those levels, but I still don't want to see the market sort of taking off from down here. I am going to consider my stop at the break-even level. If we get down toward this whole section, I'll consider just taking profit. If we do just start to hold here, I may also come out for a sort of scalping move, just because I'm a little bit more neutral on this zone. So as I'm talking to you, I'm just getting ready to close out the trade if we do start to break back up. The reason I don't put it to break even is just because the way MT4 works, with the spread, I will likely get knocked out just before it hits my break-even level. So I just do it manually on this position whilst it's so close to my entry point. What I'll also do is once the trade completes one way or the other, I will go on to the higher time frame. We'll sort of look at this zone. I'll explain to you why I was using it as both support and resistance, why I was also a little bit more cautious on it because of for me, the key resistance was slightly further up. But really, right now, there's not really anything else to go over. So what I will likely do, as always, is I'll pause the video. If we start to break down, I'll turn it back on. If we start to break back up toward the exit, I'll turn it back on, and you can see me coming out at break even. Okay, so I've closed out the trade. We were finding a little bit of support at this swing point. So I've closed it out around about 325 to 330 pounds of profit. So nice trade. The market popped back up very, very close to my entry point. I was hovering over the button, fully expecting to come out at the break-even level, but we didn't get it, and we just sort of hesitated for 5, 10, 15, nearly 20 minutes before we had the move down once again. So yeah, nice trade, worked out well, pretty small sort of scalping trade down into previous structure. Now, if we go on to the daily time frame, what we can see is, let me get rid of this. Okay, so the market has pressed up, created a swing, and it's bounced higher once again. Now we've pulled back and we're testing into this whole previous swing area. However, we are not really going anywhere. And what we're doing is we are pressing against resistance up here. You can see the spikes down. You can see the candle close, candle open. If we drag it across, it's lining up with the top of the swing. If we come down to the bottom, the market, the bottom of the swing, spikes down into the same level. So basically, the market is trapped within this previous swing point. So that's why I'm more neutral on this sort of trading area. And if we started to break up, we'd be testing into this whole area where we spiked up, market closed, opened and closed, opened and closed, and closed, or opened, sorry. So if we're testing up into those levels, it's potentially the next level of potentially significant resistance. So in here, more neutral, just being a little bit more careful on the trades, getting the stop to break even a lot quicker. Okay guys, so that is everything for today. As always, I hope that was helpful. I hope you're all having a great trading week, and you also had a really good trading April, because we're moving into May. I'm James Orr, and thank you.